This is Gillian Caldwell. I'm the Campaign Director at 1Sky, and this is the first in a series of reflections on where we stand in our collective effort to try to get climate policy in place as soon as possible. As you know, 1Sky is a highly collaborative new campaign. We've been around for a year, and we have three central goals in terms of our effort to get federal policy in place. We're looking for strong, science-based emissions targets in terms of reducing global warming pollution. We want at least 25% below 1990 levels by 2020 and at least 80% below 1990 levels by 2050. That is in accordance with the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC, which won a Nobel Prize, of course, for its work, and says those are the minimum reductions we need to achieve in order to avoid cataclysmic impacts and in order to, in fact, remain on the planet as we know it today. So that's first and foremost. How do we do that? We want a massive energy conservation and efficiency wave, and President-elect Obama has embraced this notion that much of the reductions we're talking about can be achieved through efficiency. 40% of our emissions are because we have inefficient buildings in the commercial sector, for example, and elsewhere, that can be future fitted through generating up to 5 million green jobs, another element of our platform that President-elect Obama has embraced wholeheartedly, calling repeatedly for private sector investments that generate 5 million new green jobs in this country. And the third element of the 1Sky solutions we're looking for, of course, is a moratorium on new coal-fired power plants that emit global warming pollution and creating the right investments and tax incentives for smart renewable energy choices like wind, solar, and geothermal. There again, we've had some very good news in the recent weeks. The EPA, or Environmental Protection Agency Appeals Board, issued a decision very recently, thanks to litigation brought by the Sierra Club, which indicated that coal-fired power plants had to demonstrate that they were using best available technology to avoid the very serious public health and other negative implications of global warming pollution. So it looks as though the construction of new coal-fired power plants in this country is on halt for the time being, because CCS, or carbon capture and sequestration technology, is unproven technology, and most experts think it'll take at least 10 years before we can demonstrate an ability to capture the carbon generated by coal-fired power plants. That's what we want to achieve, in essence. Those are the three central goals: steep greenhouse gas emissions reductions, 5 million new green jobs through efficiency and conservation, a moratorium on coal, and moving us away from dead-end dinosaur fossil fuels towards smart renewable energy choices. So where do we stand in a post-election context? We've got President-elect Obama, I think, a widespread wave of hope throughout the country. This is obviously an historic election. Just yesterday at the Global Governors Summit, President-elect Obama talked about the fact that he will implement a federal cap-and-trade system in the United States, and he will move the United States into leadership at a global level as we head towards the Copenhagen, December 2009 negotiations on a post-Kyoto framework, an international framework to tackle the climate challenge. He again reiterated his commitment to generating 5 million new green jobs in this country, and to wind and solar and geothermal. We do need to continue to urge President-elect Obama to get stronger targets in place for the near term. The 2020 targets he's stating are just not what the science says we need to achieve. He's talking about getting to 1990 levels by 2020, when we know, according to the IPCC, we have to be at least 25 to 40% below 1990 levels by 2020. So we really do need to work hard to urge Obama and his administration to be stronger and tougher when it comes to those near-term targets. He's also continued to talk about clean coal, and as I mentioned earlier, clean coal is a mythology. So we need to push him in the direction of smart renewable energy choices and away from fossil fuels. But I think we have a partner we can work with in the White House, and we have somebody who listens and who urges us to challenge and to disagree, and says, in fact, in his acceptance speech that he would be listening most of all when we disagree. So I think it's important that we stand firm and that we continue to be the advocates we were born to be when it comes to this issue. We can't settle for less. We have almost no time to wait, and he understands that. But the big challenge we face, I think, is in the Congress, in the U.S. Congress. In a post-election context, we did pick up a number of seats in both the House and the Senate that should be more favorable to climate legislation. But we have our work cut out for us. We need to get to 218 votes in the House of Representatives and to 60 votes in the Senate. The House of Representatives is more fertile ground. Today, in fact, we hope to get news as to what the status is of a very critical chairmanship battle. It's possible that Representative Henry Waxman will take over the chair of an important energy committee and be able to move things forward in the right direction on the House. The Senate is much tougher. The Senate failed to move a very weak climate bill, the Lieberman-Warner bill that 1Sky didn't support because it was far too weak on the targets, according to the science. And so the real challenge is, will President-elect Obama have the assets, have the support, have the championship he wants and needs in Congress to move his agenda forward? And that's where we come in. 1Sky is a highly collaborative new national campaign. We have over 200 organizational allies that have endorsed our policy platform at this stage. We have over 110,000 citizen advocates around this country, and we are launching the most ambitious volunteer organizing effort in climate history. By the end of 2008, we want volunteer climate precinct captains in every congressional district in this country. That's 435 voluntary climate precinct captains. And over the next 1 to 2 years, we want to build climate precinct captains, people prepared to organize their districts and to pressure their federal lawmakers for bold policy in every voting precinct in this country. That would be 300,000 climate precinct captains. So this is really my invitation to you. While things look better than they have in a very long time for climate change ever, in fact, for climate change at a federal level, we have got our work cut out for us, and it is game time. It's now or never if we're going to get the system in place before we move beyond the point of no return with our climate. We need you. Please join us at 1sky.org and get local. Join us as a climate precinct captain and get involved in working with us to achieve what we need to. Thank you so much.